Hi everyone, this is Myra Good from 365 Small Business Profiles, and today we have here Raymond Cooper from Image IPD. Raymond, would you like to say hi to the folks and tell them a little bit about your business?
Yes, my name is Raymond Cooper. I am the CEO and founder of Imagine IPD, and I am in the business of clean energy. We've basically designed and developed a new and innovative wind turbine generator that is scalable, that we are looking to pretty much produce for the consumer market as well as businesses. You know, everyone gets kind of the misconception of the windmill as far as it comes to as far as it goes with turbines, but we've pretty much changed the game.
So I wanted to ask you, how did you come up with this idea and what made it prompt you to be an entrepreneur? Were you already working in clean energy? Was it something that you kind of had as a side project and then decided, hey, this could be a viable business? How did you kind of come about into the clean energy field?
Well, I basically ventured into the clean energy field because I was a tinkerer as a child. I tore apart toys, and I had that kind of that engineer's bug in my DNA or something. But I gradually, I more so dealt with design, but because of my electronics background, I utilized putting both of those together and, figured out that I can pretty much come up with something that has the ability to help consumers or help people in general, save money on their electric bills and utility bills. So
okay.
I kind of veered into it then.
So at this point, you're still in the startup phase. So I'm assuming, are you at the point where you have left, I like to call it Cubicle Nation? Or are you still kind of juggling both? Or kind of what stage are you at this point?
I am juggling both, but right now I am gaining a lot of traction and really looking forward to primarily trying to leave my main job to work this full time. But at this stage, we're still startup where I've been bootstrapping. So, the majority of the funds being put into the business were pretty much my personal funds. But, at this moment, I'm still juggling two jobs. My current job and the business, and actually just signed a lease for our business incubator today.
Oh, wow. That's really great. So I want to talk about that and see, folks, there are 24 hours in a day. You can do both. I want to talk about, you were a part of StartUp Maryland, and a lot of good things came out of that, which were leading to this incubator experience. Can you kind of talk about, and I'll leave the links below to all of these programs, but I kind of want you to kind of tell our audience about StartUp Maryland, being in a business incubator. Would that be something that you would recommend, kind of what your experience been like from participating in those business competitions?
Well, just like with pretty much anything, networking is key, especially if as a startup and if you're trying to pretty much position yourself to become a successful startup. StartUp Maryland is a subdivision or regional division of the bigger organization Startup America, which is backed by the Kauffman Foundation and the Case Foundation and even the White House. But Startup Maryland is the regional division. The regional leaders are Julie Kirk and Mike Binko. They had a idea to kind of wrap a big tour bus in the Maryland flag and shed, put the spotlight on entrepreneurs in the Maryland-based area for their region. And, they made a big push for it, putting it in the press and the media. Channel 9 News here in the Washington, D.C. area picked it up and saw it, and luckily made it there the last day. And what it was they had a video, kind of like a video studio at the back of the bus, and you go on the bus, you pitch your business, and, from that point they select finalists that ultimately go on to a grand prize. Quite in that one, but a lot of these business pitch competitions, their grants are roughly range between $50,000 to $100,000 for seed money for startups. So Startup Maryland, that competition was pretty much the spark to all that's happening at this moment, which led me to being looked at by TEDCO, which is a major technology-based organization that helps startups and other technology-based organizations, get funding. And, from TEDCO, they introduced me to the Prince George's County Incubator. And again, like I said, I just signed a lease today, and what that does is it puts me in an office, gives me an actual space, an office space, makes me look more professional. And in addition to that, you have access to all of their services. They have business professionals that are there to help you, pretty much put together marketing strategies, business plans, revise your business plans. They have attorneys there. Pretty much every resource that you can think of that you would need for business to help accelerate you and take you to that next level.
Ah, okay. So TEDCO, that's for, I'm assuming, technology, clean energy based companies.
Well, TEDCO isn't necessary. TEDCO is Technology Economic Development Corporation.
Ah, okay.
So what they do is they are a corporation that pretty much they don't necessarily single out clean energy companies, but with the clean energy trend, they pretty much had an eye on me since the competition.
Oh, wow. And I know me and you talked about advisors in the past and kind of building an advisory board, building a team, especially when your vision is to have a full-fledged company, when you have, large dreams, people who can kind of give you sound advice. Can you talk a little bit about how you met your advisors and how you started to build your advisory board?
Well, again, everything pretty much stemmed from the business pitch competition, because that competition was pretty much in the presence of about 200 plus people that I had to pitch in front of on stage. But from that, TEDCO again, Robbie Melton, who's the director of entrepreneurial innovation there, she pretty much, kind of took me under her wing and pointed me in the right direction of various resources that they have in the Maryland area for, kind of like SCORE, but these aren't retired. They're not retired entrepreneurs. They're actually active entrepreneurs that take on a mentorship role in helping most companies get their businesses together in whatever aspect that they need. But, so once Robbie took me under her wing, she directed me to the Maryland Resource for Entrepreneurs. And through that listing, she also had a good friend of hers who is Stephen Rogers, one of my advisors. He's a physicist and also a chief technical officer of a hybrid vehicle company. So he and I linked up then. Robbie, pretty much talked me up, and he and I met and went over what my product was, what I'm trying to do, and where I'm trying to take it. And he loved it. And he jumped on board. He said, I'd love to be an advisor. And my other advisor, not Stephen Rogers, just mentioned him. My other advisor, Vince Truant, he is actually the CEO of Matrix Ventures, LLC. And, this gentleman has clients from Philip Morris to Black & Decker to Miller Brewing Company, Metafast, and, tons of companies. But he, again, found out what I was doing. He was actually following me from the competition and tried to catch up with me from there. Figured that he'd be able to help me out because he also helped a solar energy company get started. And, from that, he pretty much said, hey, I like what you're doing. I like where you're going with it. I'd like to work with you pro bono. I was like, wow, sure.
That's pretty great because I'm reading a book by Marissa Levin. It's called, Built to Scale. So it talks about if you want to build a large scale business, how to build an advisory board. And her book, she talks about, the money that she had to pay out for people to be on her advisory board. Now, in your incubator program, is that a set period of time? Because I've heard of some programs being, as short as 3 months all the way to, 18-month incubator programs to really help you get your business from startup to, a thriving business. So how long?
Right. Well, my program is actually very, like you said, incubator programs are varied in the time frame because it's pretty much like a school. They want you to graduate from. And there's a 3-year time frame for my incubator, but I don't plan on staying in there that long.
Oh, okay.
Based off of the traction that we've been getting. But the incubator program that I'm in, it has a 3-year max, and within that time frame, they expect you to pull together all of the resources and develop and grow as a company, so that you can pretty much take flight on your own after that.
Oh, okay. So as part of your program, is it more so that they're expecting in the 3 years that you will hire people in the Maryland area, create jobs, so on and so forth? That's kind of how you get to qualify if you're going to be stimulating the economy out of the incubator program?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, that is one of their major things that they stress, that you hire and establish your business in the Maryland area and hire within the Maryland area. And they even have programs with local colleges that I can actually bring on for me with the business, and and then hopefully turn that into full-time jobs for students coming fresh out of college.
Oh, wow. So college students, if you're listening to this or you're watching this, contact Raymond and look at some of your incubator programs in your area if you're looking for jobs that you may not be having luck in finding employment after school. So that's actually a good tip to know, and I probably wouldn't have thought of that if I was a college student, but it's probably a great place to learn a lot because you're working with a small team and you can probably get a lot of hands-on experience versus working for a big corporation.
Exactly.
So that's good. So I want to ask you, and I ask all my entrepreneurs this, what is your best mistake? Kind of what's the best mistake that you've made along the way in this journey and this road we call entrepreneurship?
So many mistakes. The best? Wow. Maybe I would say my stint at trying to enter the music industry.
Okay.
Though I was a music producer for about 5 years or so, gradually working my way up, but it, just really it was a lot. It was a lot of stress and a lot of, to me, unnecessary process. You really have to be truly focused. Though I love music and I love production, I now think it was more of a hobby and wasted years, basically, because even back then I was, despite working with the music and putting together music, I was still inventing and drawing up designs back then. So, the bug was there already, but I just didn't pay attention to it and took the wrong road.
Well, you're on the right road because look at all the good things that have happened to you just by entering in a pitch competition. You have advisors, you're an incubator. So it seems like, everything came together at the right time. You're at the right place.
Yes.
So that's good to see. So I do want to know, at any point, since you start working with advisors, now that you're in the incubator program, at any point has your business vision or your strategy changed? Because now you have people who are able to, pour into you more business insight, more knowledge, not only about your product, but just about the industry in general.
Yes. Initially, I always wanted to get the turbine that I designed out, but what my issue was, my hang up was that I couldn't, in my mind, I wasn't able to afford the patent for it, or the patents, because it has multiple patents. But so that was my initial hang up. And, you know, in working with a lot of the advisors and working with, you know, various companies like LegalZoom, actually, I found out that, you know, I was able to break the payments down and not necessarily break them down, but I didn't have to pay for the entire utility patent up front. I could have done it as a provisional patent, which saved thousands of dollars, literally, and then, you know, use that provisionary patent to which covers you and protects your time and your spot for up to 1 year. You have a year to raise the remaining balance. And within that year, what you can do is you can basically start to, you know, bring on people or look for funding for your product. So, you know, there are a lot of things that you can take advantage of that a lot of people just haven't really researched before trying to take that step.
And I think that's really good that you mentioned LegalZoom as an alternative, because I have met people who are trying to get patents, and it is very, very costly. Not only is it costly, but the paperwork can be sometimes enough for people to say, maybe this is not the road I need to go down. Maybe let me try a different route. And you know, when you're dealing with, you know, any type of government form, we all know that it's, you know, not the easiest, you know, dot here, sign here, initial here, and send it in. There's forms and forms and forms, and the follow-up can be, you know, a headache in itself. So that's really good that LegalZoom is something that entrepreneurs who are bootstrapping on a tight budget can utilize and get their dreams to come true. So I do want to talk about, I know we mentioned TEDCO. We also mentioned, you know, Startup America, which is nationwide, right? And you were in Startup Maryland.
Right.
But it's a nationwide program. We also talked about LegalZoom. Are there any other kind of resources that you found helpful that you would recommend for other folks who may? And I want to really talk about, you know, your high tech, your clean energy type of companies, because those seem to require much more funding than your person who may be a photographer or someone who's, you know, starting like me an e-commerce site. What are some other kind of resources that you've used that have kind of, you've been able to kind of downplay some of the costs that you're incurring right now?
Yeah, so you know, a lot of resources are available pretty much for anyone out there who's really interested in starting a business. One of the biggest resources that you'll always have are friends and family to when you're bootstrapping. But what's available online and what was in one of the bills that Obama signed into action just last year, crowdfunding. And that is a great source, and I'm happy to acknowledge and announce that the new website, crowded.com, that launches June 4th, has picked Imagine IPD up.
Oh, wow.
And they've accepted our project, and they are actually very excited about it as well. We are actually even featured on their homepage. If you go to the website, you'll see our logo up there on the homepage. So crowdfunding websites are a great resource, because what that does is it takes you out of that fear zone of having to get a loan from a bank or having to pay so much money for a proposal writer. It's just an amazing way to take advantage of funding sources if you have a project that you want to start up. You know, and a lot of technology-based companies are going that route. They even have Indiegogo and Green Funder. I think it's called Green Funder or Green Funding. They are specifically geared towards green or environmentally safe or environmentally friendly projects. So, you know, crowdfunding is a great way to go, other than your friends and family if you're bootstrapping.
Oh, that's really good. So I just want to ask you, what piece of entrepreneurial, Popular, entrepreneurial advice that you disagree with, that you kind of heard, and that once you started your business that you found out was completely not true, and please don't let anyone else listen to that.
Please, 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 by all means, do not listen to someone telling you, oh, you have time. You know, if you're dealing with tangible products and you're in the product development industry, you know, like my mother always said, and I'm more than sure everybody's mother in America and probably all around the world said, there's always somebody out there thinking the same thing you are. So I would not fall into I would not fall into listening to someone who says, oh, well, take your time. Yes, take your time, but don't, you know, put things off. Do not procrastinate, because it would put you in a position where you know, your procrastination becomes a cycle, and you become stagnant, and then you tend to lose that dream. And then next thing you know, you see a TV commercial advertising a service or a product that you pretty much started up, and you're like, I thought of that, 10 years ago.
My idea.
Yeah. So my advice is not to listen to those who discourage you from trying to do something, and those who try to tell you, oh, take your time, and you know, wait a while. No, just do all of your research, all of your planning, you know, set milestones, set milestones and goals that you want to achieve, and give them deadlines, because that will then keep you on track.
Right, that's true. And I always notice that when people say, they start the sentence off with, you know what you should do? That's usually going to be bad advice.
For the most part, right.
Right. If they start off the sentence with, you know what you should do, that usually means two things. One, they've never done it themselves. Two, it's probably not good advice. That's
so true.
Well, what I've learned. So I do want to ask you, what's next for your company? I know you just signed the lease today, so it's a very exciting time. I guess, what's your actual move-in date that you guys are doing next with your new kind of facility that you have?
The move-in date is next Monday, April 15th. And what's next for us is finishing up our testing of our wind turbine. We have what they call CFD, or computational fluid dynamics, which is basically testing to any form of fluid or air past an object. I'm putting it in layman's terms, so I don't try to throw too much technical stuff out there. But for the most part, we're doing computational fluid dynamics testing and wind tunnel testing to optimize the turbine's design, the airfoils, in relation to its efficiency, and basically trying to make sure that it comes out as a given that wow factor approach to the wind industry, and really shocking people. Aside from that, a couple other developments. I was picked up on a speaking panel for entrepreneurial innovation at Maryland Economic Development Association on April 30th. We have that coming up. And next week, I may be going to speak before Congress.
Oh, wow. You'll have to keep us posted, and definitely on the Facebook page, please post and let us know kind of if you do go, so that we can all kind of turn into C-SPAN and see if we can get you on TV.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So that's definitely.
Yeah.
That's a
so
lot.
I'm very excited about that.
And just think, if you would have been a music producer, you would have never gone in front of Congress. So
never.
Clean energy is much more exciting than the music, right?
True indeed.
For you guys to let our readers and viewers and listeners know kind of where they can reach you on social media. Are you on Twitter? I know you're on Facebook, because that's how we found each other. If you could just give your Twitter links, Facebook accounts.
Yes, Imagine_IPD is the Twitter account, or at Imagine_IPD. You can keep up with us there. We also have a LinkedIn page. The LinkedIn page is through my it's under Ray Cooper at LinkedIn. And then the Facebook page, sorry, a fly flew by my face. On the Facebook page, we're Imagine IPD, just like that.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Raymond. This has been really great. And I hope everyone does get a lot out of this, because we don't really get to talk to people who are kind of clean energy, definitely not clean energy and tech type businesses. So this has definitely been a pleasure. And so thank you so much.
Thank you. Let me, I want to get a quick cameo of my shirt.
Oh, okay. Let's see it. There you go, folks. Imagine IPD, the clean energy company.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, and www.imagineipd.com.
So if you want to contact Raymond directly, then go to the website and you can enter in, you can send him an email there. All right. Well, thanks so much, everyone. This is 365 Small Business Profiles, and we are signing off.